everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do an overall review of the project Nuls. I posted a poll on Twitter and it won. Also, a Nuls ambassador named Senior Gato filled out my submission form in its entirety, and that was a massive help to me, so I was happy to cover it. In the spirit of transparency, this is not a paid review and Nuls is not in my portfolio. Quick reminder to everyone watching, if you haven't hit that like button yet or that subscribe button, please do so. Also check out my website for merch, and if you want to become a patron and support the channel, I'll leave the link down below. My normal friendly disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, all investments have inherent risk, and please always do your own research. Let's get started. Nuls is an open source project that started in September of 2017. Nuls separates its features into customizable modules such as smart contracts, a multi-chain system, cross-chain consensus, and other operating mechanisms. The purpose of the project is to make blockchain adoption easy. It can be compared to the WordPress of blockchains. Nuls is a platform that allows for the creation of highly customizable sidechains. They're able to do this because their core code is broken down into plugins, or what they call modular. This aspect makes the actual onboarding process of enterprises much easier. They can select the modules that fit their specific needs and have their own chain in minutes. An additional benefit of the modular infrastructure is the ability to upgrade without needing to hard fork. Just as one upgrades more RAM or a better CPU, it does not affect the software. Nuls allows for the ability to upgrade without needing a hard fork. Next is the team. There's quite a few members to this team, but the main ones are Jason Zhang, who is the founder and also the technical community director, Reaper Ran, who is the founder and community management director, Lily Wang, who is the co-founder, Lisa Huan, who is the CEO, and the CEO is Isaac Kim. Next is the ICO. Nuls did not do an ICO. The project was distributed via airdrop and was funded by the investors of InChain. Jason, the lead developer of Nuls, was originally the developer for the project called InChain. This project was created in China to help put an end to the issues that they have with counterfeiting. The InChain ICO was successfully completed in September of 2017, and then China introduced a temporary ban on ICOs. During that time, the InChain project decided to remove the token aspect of the project to adhere to Chinese regulations. At that point, Jason decided to pivot the project and choose a broader goal. As InChain was already a private company with existing business relationships, they decided to branch out into a separate blockchain-based project called Nuls. They offered those who participated in the InChain ICO to do a full refund, but if they chose not to do the refund, they were airdropped the Nuls tokens. Funding is broken down into a few different parts. 20% goes to the community growth. This is for ambassadors, developers, and community-driven projects. 20% to business development, business partnerships, and support growth of high-quality third-party projects. 20% goes to the team, the core team, and the continued development of Nuls. 40% of the tokens will be airdropped to the owners of the ERC20 placeholder tokens. Let's talk about the technology. The main chain will use proof of credit, or POC protocol, and Nuls is the first and only project that uses this algorithm. It works like proof of stake, where a certain number of tokens will be needed to be locked in before the user can run a node on the network. When a user wants to stop running a node, they can immediately unlock their tokens. To ensure balance and fairness in the entire Nuls system, the consensus reward is computed based on the amount of staked coins and the node credit submitted by all consensus nodes. When a node isn't maintaining the network as expected, then a penalty is given, which is a yellow card. Too many yellow cards, and they get banned from consensus and maintaining the network. This encourages nodes to be healthy and be good actors. Current staking rewards are around 15.9%, and the current block rewards vary. It's 2,000 coins to stake, and 20,000 to be an agent node and create a node. For a node to join consensus, they must have at least 200,000 being staked on it. Once the node joins consensus and starts packing blocks, the stakers of that node will begin to receive a reward. Agent nodes can be a charge of commission to stakeholders who participate in that node. The average is about a 10% commission charge to stakers. Current transaction fees through the Nuls ecosystem are about 0.01 Nuls and can go down as low as 0.001 Nuls. When an onboarded business creates its own sidechain, the transaction fees can be determined by that business and not necessarily held to that 0.01 fee. The modular architecture design of Nuls supports the insertion of new functional modules as well as the replacement of the core functional modules in the consensus mechanism. That basically means that corporations can customize their blockchains accordingly. The user can set the rules for their subchains and tailor them to their needs. The verification of blocks will occur on the cross-chain consensus, and Nuls can circulate through both the main chain and the subchains. Subchains report to the main chain, and the main chain audits and verifies the block headers. Partial nodes of the main chain and the subchain make up the cross-chain consensus domain. The nodes agree on cross-chain transactions between each other and share the data with one another nodes in their own chain. Nuls states that their mission and project can be divided into 4 different components: ease of use, adaptability, high performance, and the balance of transparency and confidentiality. Ease of use. The learning curve for developing on Nuls is reduced by hiding some of the complexity from the developer. The goal of the platform is to improve development time by offering a simple, programmable environment that caters to a less experienced developer. Adaptable to numerous application scenarios. The application layer is where the developer can take advantage of the infrastructure support that has been designed as a part of the platform. The developer can easily perform basic tasks and make use of the modular parts such as the multi-chain system and the smart contracts. High performance. Nuls understands the importance of performance and the limitations of current blockchains and is committed to solving these widespread issues. Using parallel expansion technology through the multi-chain system, millions of transactions per second can be processed through the main chain and the subchains. Balance and transparency and confidentiality of data. For organizations and businesses, data confidentiality and security are of the utmost importance. The open source and transparent nature of the blockchain generally makes them hesitant to use the new technology. Although Nuls is open source, it protects the confidentiality of the data in the subchains through data isolation and cross-chain auditing. The balance between transparency and confidentiality of data is why Nuls will appeal to the commercial business despite it being open source. They state they're also working on new architecture based on microservices that will allow developers to write modules in different languages and attach them to the system runtime. All these modules can be reused easily to build on more complex systems that will connect between each other seamlessly. I want to quickly define what a system runtime is. It's a collection of software and hardware resources that enable a software program to be executed on a computer system. So by Nuls utilizing this type of setup, the result will be highly interconnected ecosystems. For example, a sidechain on Nuls can choose between a private or a public chain rather than being forced to be a public chain altogether. Nuls states it is different because it's solving the main issue of the blockchain adoption. There are a shortage of programmers and experts in the space, so development and progression is slow. The barrier to entry is entirely too hard for many enterprises to even bother. It requires too much time to program a chain from scratch, and the financial investment necessary to pay for the work of the programmers is also a barrier. Nuls is solving all of this by creating a service that allows for a chain to be created in 5 minutes. No longer does a business need to adapt their model to fit the blockchain. Nuls has created a blockchain to adapt to their model. That brings us to present day. Currently, the project sits at 120 on LiveCoinWatch with a market cap value of 44 million. The total supply is 100 million plus 5 million per year from staking inflation, and a total cap hasn't been determined yet. The team and community have not decided on whether or not there will be a fixed total supply or not. They still need to vote on that. They currently have a desktop and web wallet, both official from Nuls. If you're interested in buying the project, you can find it on Binance, OKX, and KuCoin. Nuls was featured in Forbes France a couple weeks ago, and they're number 9 on CCID's Global Public Blockchain Technology Assessment Index, up from number 22 last month. They've also recently announced partnerships with Bitmain, MC Payments, which is a large payment processing company in Southeast Asia, Prism, which is a healthcare project based out of France. As far as competition goes, Neblio and Arc are the projects I see being the most as far as direct competitors. I say this because these 3 projects' main goal is to bring businesses to the blockchain and attempt to make it as easy as possible for them. Some of the major differences are that with Neblio, anyone can stake their coins, while with Nuls, you need a specified amount, and with Arc, it's delegated proof of stake. There are also different variations of what coding languages each project supports. So what's going on in the future for these guys? In December, they're going to release Chain Factory. Chain Factory is essentially the UI for creating the customized blockchain in minutes. This is the main product release that allows the modular ecosystem to be used by everyone. They also state they have updated wallets, a voting mechanism, a marketing campaign, mobile wallets with QR compatibility, and Nullstar multi-language integration to look forward to. On to the pros. Their platform's aimed at being easily adopted, customizable, cheap, fast, easy, and decreasing barriers to entry. Those are some pretty home run goals. They state that they believe a pro for them is that proof of credit is an improved proof of stake system. Community consensus is that Nuls is the next step in adoption for the blockchain. Continued project advancement and development in this bear market is also a huge priority for them. I like their goals, and I think that bringing in bigger companies and making crypto mainstream will decrease the amount of uncertainty around crypto and increase adoption as a whole. On to the cons. Well, as of right now, there's really not a ton of cons for this project because they're not missing deadlines, they've been on time, and I was unable to find any tech issues, wallet issues, or team drama. The project could use more coding languages. At the moment, you can only natively use Java or RPC-JSON for connecting other languages. However, Nuls 2.0 is in development, which will allow people to use any preferred programming language to build modules or edit the core framework. The biggest con I would probably say would be competition. Neblio and Arc are pretty similar in wanting to bring enterprise solutions to the blockchain, so Nuls is really going to have to set itself apart from that. Final thoughts. I'm always a fan of projects that are trying to decrease entry barriers for people and businesses into the space. We need this technology to be easy to use and less intimidating than it is now. Projects like Nuls are doing the whole space a big favor by working towards bridging the gap between the average user and the person obsessed with crypto and this movement altogether. I like this project, and I hope they continue to be successful in the future. All right, everyone, that's it for me today. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I want to remind everyone to go check out the Blockchain Brief newsletter. It's a new publication myself and a bunch of other content creators are working on. We're very proud of it, and we think you guys would really enjoy it. But in the meantime, I'll see you guys later. Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, you. I got tons of other content in these playlists over here. What are you doing? Get watching. And as always, thanks for the channel support.